Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Oscar Film Forecast, where today is the day after the Golden Globe Awards. Um, and yeah, there were a lot of surprises last night, so that's what we're here to cover, discuss all the crazy stuff that went down and how they changed the awards race at the moment, where the nominations are only about 15 days away. I am joined here with Ben Campbell.
Hi everyone.
So Ben, what was the biggest surprise to you last night?
The biggest surprise by far and away was Jodie Foster
Yeah,
winning Best
I
Supporting Actress, 100%.
that was crazy. What do you think that means for the supporting actress race?
It means it's still completely open. I don't even think there's any locks going into it because only some people have been nominated in some places. I think the only people who are consistently nominated everywhere were Glenn Close and Olivia Colman, and
Yeah,
neither of them won.
they're pretty. I think they'll likely get in there. Um, I don't know if Jodie Foster will get in at the Oscars.
I have her predicted. I did as soon as
hmm
I saw the movie. I predicted her for the Oscar. I just thought it was because I liked the movie, so I predicted her for that reason.
hmm
But then she actually won, and I think she'll be nominated at the BAFTA too. So I think that maybe it could happen, but I do think you're correct in that not always what wins here goes on to be nominated.
Yeah, I mean she hasn't done much lately, so I guess maybe that's like that kind of like when Renee Zellweger came back last year. They may be like at least trying to nominate her because she's returning.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Olivia Colman and Glenn Close are gonna get nominated there. I think I always mess up her name. Yoo Jong Yoon is gonna get nominated.
YJ.
Um, yes, YJ. And then the last two spots, I'm kind of stuck with Amanda Seyfried. I think she could not get nominated.
Yeah, I
She
don't
might
have
have
her.
to win here because she didn't get the SAG nomination, and that's like the main group of
Mm-hmm.
people who would nominate her at the Oscars.
Yeah, I think she really stank last night. And you know what? I think we both thought it wouldn't happen. So,
Mhm.
we can kind of toot our own horns there, but I do not have Amanda Seyfried in my predictions.
Yeah, she's not in my five either. She's right on the outside, but yeah,
Hmm.
not looking good for her. I honestly think Helena Zengel, she's in my five just because she's only missed like once, I think.
Hmm.
So even though she
Critics'
might not
choice.
be, yeah, even though she might not be the ideal nominee, I think she's probably gonna get in. And she, at the Critics' Choice, I don't think she got nominated because she was in that younger up and coming
Yeah.
actress category. So I think she gets in. And then my last spot is a little bit of wishful thinking. I still have Ellen Bernstein.
Well, I have Dominique Fishback, so
Uh, who do you not have Helena Zengel?
no. I
No.
don't know. I like to live on the edge, and I'll
hmm
probably be wrong, but just in case they go all Phantom Thread on Judas, I'm putting her in.
Yeah. Yeah. The Judas, I think, really needs some PGA love
Hmm.
in order to continue. I mean, it has well, why not hop over to the best supporting actor race where last night Daniel Kaluuya won. Thankfully, one of the few categories that um, were a little easier to predict and had a good outcome. So for supporting actor, I think he is the front runner. I don't.
Hmm.
I think if anyone were to try and go for someone else, the Globes would have tried gone for someone like Sasha Baron Cohen. But they didn't. So I think he's going to end up winning. When it comes to who else gets nominated at the Oscars, I have him, Paul Raci, Sacha Baron Cohen, Leslie Odom Jr., and Chadwick Boseman.
I, you see, I don't know about Chadwick Boseman now. Maybe currently I have Jared Leto in The Little Things because they dared shortlist that movie for
Yeah.
makeup and score. So they clearly like, and if he got nominated at the SAG too, and the Golden Globes, I just think it could happen over Chadwick. But again, I don't know. So
Hmm.
my list is currently Paul Raci, Daniel Kaluuya, Leslie Odom Jr., Sasha Baron Cohen, and Jared Leto at number 5. Because it's like, it is unlikely, but it's 28 and 1. He's like 6 or 7, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, I have Chadwick there just because he got the SAG nomination, and once again, the acting branch is the one who comes up with a lot of these nominations before everyone gets to vote on who wins. Um,
Mm.
and last night, I think, especially that like heartbreaking speech from his wife, I think they may want to honor him as much as they can. Yeah. So I think when it comes to support or not supporting lead actor, I also think he's a lock now. I thought there was a chance that Anthony Hopkins could win last night, but the Golden Globes went with Chadwick, and I don't see any way that he loses the Oscar at this point.
I agree. Yeah. But that begs the question, who fills out the category? Because I think this is like a highly kind of contested thing. I
Yeah,
currently think it's Stephen Yeun and Tahar Rahim.
you have both of them getting in. So do you have Gary
Yeah,
Oldman missing out?
I do. Yeah.
I hope that happens, but he hasn't missed anywhere. Right now, I haven't changed my actor category in a while since the nominations came out. I still have Chadwick, Anthony Hopkins, Riz Ahmed, Gary Oldman, and Delroy Lindo, who
Poor
could get.
Delroy.
I still think all of that hype and talk around the Golden Globe nominations about him not getting in will help him out.
Mm.
Um, Tahar Rahim, I don't know how much hype there is for him. If there's any hype for that movie, I think it will be for Jodie Foster. Um, I haven't seen it. I've heard he's great in it.
You need to see it.
Yes, yes.
It's out tomorrow, I think.
Really? What's is it PVOD or is it on a service?
I think it's PVOD.
Hmm. Yes. I'll watch it soon then.
I
Um,
still have to see Minari, and I really
so
should.
do I. Yeah, that's also PVOD. Um, and who was your other one? You had Tahar Rahim and Steven?
Stephen Yeun.
Yeah. I think it's between him and Delroy Lindo for that last spot. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know. The Globes didn't go for anyone in Minari, so but I
Oh
think
yeah, that's
Minari did get a bit of a boost from winning a foreign film. So yeah, I think that last spot's up in the air. Um,
hmm. I mean, it's not if Gary Oldman gets in.
yeah, I think Gary Oldman will probably get in, and I think it's that last spot that's
Hmm.
tricky. So for Best Director last night we had Chloe Zhao win, and I think she's going all the way to the Oscars.
Hopefully, she seemed like such a cool person. I'd love
Mhm.
to see her win.
She is, yeah, she just seems like a very down to earth, cool person. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I think if anyone at the Globes would have been the people to like give it to David Fincher or something, but they didn't. So I think she's just going all the way. Will be the second woman to ever. She was the second woman to ever win a director Golden Globe, and I think she'll be the second to win a director Oscar.
Hmm.
So, but how
Well,
about nomination wise? Who else do you think gets in at the Oscars?
people still think Regina King's gonna happen. I don't think she will. It's
Um,
gonna be Emerald. People don't think it'll be Emerald Fennell. She's number 6. I think it will be. I've heard that Lee Isaac Chung and then the top 3.
yeah, I have the same list: David Fincher, Aaron Sorkin, Emerald Fennell, and Lee Isaac Chung. Um, kind of like last night that Minari got a boost. I think since Lee Isaac Chung gave that like acceptance speech and he gave a nice speech with his daughter and everything, I think that put him in more of a spotlight than say Regina King. And they appreciate the directing guild doesn't really like nominating actors as directors that often, as we've seen with people like Bradley Cooper.
Hmm.
They prefer more of like the technical achievements, where I think Regina King doesn't really have much technical achievements there. I think more of her achievements in directing are for the performances she gets out of the
Mm.
actors there. So
I think
yeah,
Promising Young Woman is a much bigger achievement than One Night in Miami.
yeah, it is. So I think Emerald will get in before her, and so will Lee Isaac Chung. I don't know if anyone else. I think it's just those top six. I don't know if anyone else has a shot.
Hmm.
They always could
Oh,
surprise though.
if they do Paul Greengrass,
That would be very annoying. We still don't have the DGA nomination, so
no. And do we know when these guilds do the nominations? Because it's really hard to find a date.
um I'm pretty sure they're all relatively close to the Oscar nominations, like within a week of
Hmm.
them, so it will be unknown up until then. But the DGA sometimes doesn't line up with the Oscars anyway. Like Ben Affleck won the DGA, but he didn't get nominated. So
Oof,
rude. But
very.
that's another case of them not liking the acting directors.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. I really don't think she's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, Emerald Fennell is an acting director though, but she's not really known as well.
Hmm.
So now onto Best Actress, where everyone expected last night Carey Mulligan to win. Another huge surprise. Andra Day won.
The number 5 person.
I had her at my number 3 just because I thought she was a Globe kind of pick, and indeed
Hmm.
she was. I think this kind of makes her the 5th slot in the Best Actress category. Like we were all talking about, there's four locks, and there's that final spot. I think it's definitely going to Andra Day now. She just kind of
Hmm.
solidified.
I still have it as Rosamund Pike because I just love her, and she won her Golden Globe last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably wrong, but I haven't been wrong about Rosamund Pike yet. I
No,
predict her to get the nomination. Got the nomination. I
she
predict her to
did.
get the win. She won. So I'm just putting her at number 5 because I haven't been wrong on this train yet. So you never know.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go over to that category then. That's Best Actress, Comedy, or Musical, where everyone expected Maria Bakalova to win,
I
but
didn't.
Rosamund Pike, yes, Ben didn't. Rosamund Pike took the surprise and she won. She looked amazing. She gave a great speech. She was all around awesome, and she deserved to win.
Hmm.
Um, what do you think? Do you think? Yeah, I know you said you have her in your actress top 5, but
Hmm.
do you think this hurts Maria Bakalova in the supporting actress race?
I remember saying this a while ago. I'm not sure if it was here or if it was somewhere else or just in my head, but if Maria will likely miss the BAFTA just because it's not the type of thing for them.
Mhm.
And so I think the earliest indicator of that happening would be Rosamund Pike beating her here.
Yeah,
And then I think there's a strong chance that she misses the Oscar and then Jodie Foster takes that spot, or Dominique Fishback or Ellen Bernstein.
yeah. I feel bad for Maria, but I don't think she's getting into supporting actress now. I mean, we already talked about supporting actress and we forgot to even mention her. So I think she's kind
Oof.
of outside the bubble right now. She did a great
I
job.
loved her. She was great.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's sometimes not the kind of performance that they like to honor. But
Hmm.
her co-star Sasha Baron Cohen won Best Lead Actor, Comedy or Musical. This was kind of a pretty terrible category, anyways. There was only
Hmm.
like 3 good nominees, and I don't think any of them have any Oscar buzz or chance. But what did you think of this
No.
category?
For me, there was only one good nominee, and that was Andy Samberg. And I suppose the other good nominee was Sasha Baron Cohen, so I wanted it to be either of them.
Hmm.
I did not want Hamilton to win anything. It did win anything, so I was happy.
Hmm.
Like they really missed an opportunity to honor Pete Davidson, who gave a great performance. Honestly, it was a very disappointing category. You know, Mads Mikkelsen in another round was a big
Yeah,
snub here too.
yeah, he definitely should have been nominated. If you're nominating James Corden, you can nominate Mads Mikkelsen. Gave him
Oh,
a better
yeah.
performance, I'm sure. Um, Now into one of the few technical categories, I guess, that the Globes have best
I
score.
have something to say about original
Yeah,
score.
yeah, go ahead.
Why is Nomadland not on the shortlist?
because it has music from other people's work or whatever that rule is, where it has like other pieces of work that the composer didn't specifically create mixed in, so they don't consider it a completely original score. So I'm not a huge fan
That
of
is
that rule,
shocking.
but it has an amazing score. I love that
It
score.
has a. I thought when I was thinking about it, it reminded me of the Brokeback Mountain theme and the Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri theme. I
Hmm.
thought like that. It was like a mixture of both of them. I'm better than. I don't think it was better than Three Billboards, but I had like that rough feel of the like acoustic in Brokeback Mountain with the kind of power and anger that Three Billboards had, and it just brought it together. It's so good. I cannot believe it wasn't nominated.
Yeah,
Shocking.
yeah. They kind of did the same thing with like Us last year, which totally
Mm.
deserved a nomination. Um, they have weird score rules, but what won last night was Soul. I think the movie that should win. I think easily the best score, and I don't really think anything else can upset it at the Oscars. What do you think?
Mm. Um, yeah. For some reason, my prediction Soul is at number 4, which is not the case. I think I must have just done that by accident. Um, I'm changing that right now because I do not want to be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think the only thing that could maybe is Minari if they go crazy for it. But again, that's only if they go crazy for it. I think Soul is pretty much closest thing to a lock
Hmm.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. How about the other nominees? I think, like you said, Minari, Mank will probably get in, News of the World, and Midnight Sky. That's what I have.
I have Tenet, Minari, Mank, Soul, and because they shortlisted the shit out of it, The Little Things, which had a average score. No, it actually had a really good one. Like it was memorable at places, but the thing about that movie, it feels so manufactured to be this interesting movie. The score also feels so manufactured that like, oh yes, like this is the score for the crime movie, and it's really cool here and there. That's exactly how it feels. It just feels so corporate and ugh,
Hmm.
but I have it there.
Yeah, I'm bumping Tenet out of a lot of my categories just because
Because you're
there seems
wrong.
to be no love for it at all this award season. I can't even think of where it's been nominated. Like you didn't even get the best stunt action ensemble at SAG.
Yeah, but it got like 5 nominations at the Critics' Choice.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I don't really trust the Critics' Choice a whole lot. I know they line up with the Oscars pretty well, but the actual voting bodies are pretty different.
Well,
Um,
I think there's the Midnight Sky and News of the World get nothing, so that's why I'm not predicting.
yeah, I think there's a chance one of them could miss, but I think one of them will probably get in.
I'm
So now,
manifesting that not happening. So
yeah,
that's what I do with my predictions. I just manifest things, and sometimes that works, and sometimes it really doesn't.
it's worked so at least last night so far pretty well.
Hmm. Didn't work with Palm
So
Springs, but I'll
yeah,
I'll
well,
pick my battles.
yeah, Palm Springs sadly was not going to happen. Um, so now into best screenplay, where Trial of the Chicago 7 won. Kind of expected another Aaron Sorkin win at the Globes. Did this change any of your predictions for either of the screenplay categories?
Um, no, it did not. I was sad for Emma Fennell because she did deserve it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I think she'll definitely still get nominated. Trial will probably still win against her in the original screenplay category.
Hmm.
I think in terms of adapted screenplay, I think that category is kind of five locks right now. I don't see anything else getting in. I think it's what is it? One Night in Miami, Nomadland, The Father, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and then sadly, News of the World.
Nope, I have something else sneaking in there. Um, I'm probably wrong, but the industry seems to kind of be digging the Mauritanian.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That one could get in.
And when you know about how the movie is like written and how they get the story from Mohammed Slahi, it's incredible. It's a
Hmm.
really good pitch. And when I saw The Mauritanian, I predicted Jodie Foster to Rahim and the Mauritanian in adapted screenplay. It's that good, like in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that actually definitely does have an outside shot. News of the World does seem a little more like it has a little more hype right now. Um,
Mm.
but after last night, the Mauritanian does definitely have some hype. And then in terms of original screenplay, yeah, I think it's Trial, Promising Young Woman,
Mm.
Minari, Mank, and that fifth spot is kind of up in the open. I still have Judas there.
I would love to have it, but I have Sound of Metal. You see, the thing with both of those movies is that they kind of split because, unfortunately, these two incredible movies are at like the bottom of the Best Picture race.
Mhm.
Like they're at number like 11, 12, 10. It's really hard to know what they go for. I think it's more likely they go for Sound of Metal, but I would love to see it be Judas. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like for it to be Judas too. Yeah, Sound of Metal, I think, is the other thing that would take its spot. It's not a huge screenplay kind of movie, but they nominated Nomadland for that, and that's not a big
Mm,
screenplay movie, so
no.
you never know. I think the last. Do you want to cover song? I guess it was a surprise that the Life Ahead song won.
Yeah. For when it comes to like original song, I don't know what to do for the Oscars because I like to pick the really interesting ones and then they always nominate the boring ones. Like
Mhm.
last year they could have done Wild Rose, which was the
Yeah.
best song, and they didn't. So I have right now it's like Husavik from Eurovision is my number one.
Mhm.
Green from Sound of Metal is my number two. Rain Song from Minari is three. Wuhan Flu from Borat's subsequent movie film is my number four, and Make It Work from Jingle Jangle is my number five because they shortlisted that movie a lot,
Mhm.
and it's probably like unlikely, but I just want to cover all my bases. I think now it is likely that Diane Warren has a stronger chance than she did because there really wasn't any hype, but
Mhm.
she has a stronger chance than she did.
Yeah, I think she'll definitely get nominated. Before this, I had Leslie Odom Jr. winning for Speak Now.
Mm.
Um, Behind that, I think in second place, I had Fight for You from Judas. But Diane Warren won. The other two spots, I think, would probably be Hear My Voice from Trial of the Chicago Seven and Husavik, I have getting in at the fifth spot, hopefully,
Mm.
even though its chances are dwindling. In terms of Jingle Jangle, I think that'll probably get some love in like makeup and costume and stuff.
Yeah,
Because most
it's so hard to tell with these below the belt like categories. It is very difficult.
it is, especially since there's not been a lot of precursors. There's really just been the short list.
Mm.
Um, but if you look at the movie, I think it's got some pretty good makeup and costumes and everything. Um, Best animated film, I don't think there's really much to cover there. It's a soul sweep all the
Yeah.
way to the Oscars. Good for them. And last category would be best. Well, I guess we don't really need to cover best film, comedy, or musical because none of those movies have a chance at winning. Borat did win.
Pratt and Palm Springs got WGA, so I suppose it is kind of worth mentioning that they both were there. But
Yeah.
not going to happen because those categories of picture and screenplay are already pretty locked in. They don't really have a chance.
Hmm.
And Palm Springs lost, Borat won, and the Oscars are not going to nominate Borat.
No. And Hamilton did not win as I thought it would. It isn't a film though, so I guess that makes sense. Um,
Very good.
So then, last category, best film drama. I thought Trial of the Chicago Seven was going to win this. I think you thought Promising Young Woman was going to win this.
Mm.
Neither of them won, and it was Nomadland. One of the
It
rare
was.
times the HFPA honors that kind of indie, smaller kind of movie.
It was great. I was really happy. Again, I really did enjoy Nomadland. And when it comes to Trial of Chicago 7 winning, like a good movie, but we've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
compared to Nomadland, which is it's definitely a really high standard indie film. That should be the standard for all indie movies. It's just
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
Yeah.
Same with Sound of Metal. I think those are very similar films, but I
Yeah.
was delighted. I was sad for Promising Young Woman that it was completely snubbed,
Yeah.
like nothing. But it is what it is. And if I was going to take anything else, I was rooting for Nomadland to take it. Um, if Promising Young Woman didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nomadland, I think, I mean, it wasn't the biggest surprise of the night, but it definitely, I had it at number three, I think.
I had
Uh,
a four. I did not think it
yeah.
was going to happen.
Yeah. I think it definitely increases its best picture winning chances. Right now, I moved it back up to number one, and I have Trial at two. And then for the rest, I have Minari, Promising Young Woman, Mank, One Night in Miami, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, The Father, and then in the 9 and 10 spots, I have Judas and Sound of Metal.
I love that so much. I really do. I think everyone agrees on the top eight. I don't think there's
Yeah.
any disputing that.
Hmm.
Some people don't think The Father's getting it, but The Father got the Best Picture nomination at the
Yeah.
Golden Globes.
And I think
I
it's
think it's
going
going
to
to
be
get it.
great at the BAFTAs too.
Mm. So for me, I have No Man Land at number one, Trial of the Chicago Seven, Mank, Promising Young Woman, Minari. That's my five. I think those are all locks.
Yeah.
Then The Father, One Night in Miami, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I'd love to see Ma Rainey knock it in, and Judas and Sound of Metal get it instead. But then
Yeah.
number nine is Judas, and 10 is The Five Bloods, because I do not have faith in Sound of Metal to go that far.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think Sound of Metal will get a Best Picture nomination, sadly. I think it could be a year maybe where they just nominate 8 movies. Some years they do that
Frustrating.
instead of 9. But if the ninth spot is going to be like News of the World or something like that,
Hmm.
then just nominate 8.
Could you imagine if they snub The Five Bloods, Judas, and Sound of Metal, and they do 9, but the 9 is News of the World?
It'd be
That would be
upsetting,
horrible.
but it wouldn't be hugely surprising just because that's an Oscars thing to do.
Hmm.
Seems like their kind of movie, even though I don't think it has a lot of hype right now, really. It came out a little bit ago, and
Hmm.
yeah, I don't sense much hype for it, but
It came out at the same time as Promising Young Woman.
yeah.
Look at them.
Hmm. Promising Young Woman has gained a lot of hype. I never thought it really had much of a chance, but here it is.
Hmm.
So that's
How do we
pretty,
think it is after last night, after winning nothing?
yeah. Promising Young Woman.
Hmm.
Um, I think it'll definitely still get nominations. It'll get Best Picture. It'll get Screenplay. Carey Mulligan will get in. I think Emerald Fennell will get in. She's on the lower part of that tier, but I think she'll still get in. And then the only win I think it really has a shot at is maybe Screenplay, like Jordan Peele style.
Hmm.
But I think its best shot is Carey Mulligan, which that actress category is just so weird because now at I think SAG and maybe BAFTAs too, SAG and one other organization, the two
Andrew
winners
Day is not
from
on the BAFTA shortlist.
yeah, the two winners from last night, Rosamund Pike and Andra Day, neither of them can win again. So it's gonna be like certain years this happens where like one actress or actor will win like the Golden Globe, a different person wins the BAFTA, a different
Hmm.
person wins the SAG, and it's just kind of like a mystery up until the night. But I still have
Hmm.
Carey Mulligan as winning the Oscar. She'll probably
I'd
win the
love to
BAFTA.
see it.
Yeah, yeah, I think she does have a good chance at the BAFTAs too because she's
Hmm.
British.
Hmm. Her
Um,
or Vanessa Kirby. I don't think Vanessa Kirby has a chance. But if she upset, I wouldn't complain.
yeah, yeah. Vanessa Kirby, I don't. I think she still gets in. I'm kind of worried for her. I hope she doesn't miss out.
That movie should be a much bigger contender than it is. It's so sad.
Yeah, at least Ellen Bernstein should be a contender too.
Hmm.
Yes.
Cinematography.
Yeah, it did have good cinematography. It had a good score too.
That it did have. It had great everything, but then Shia LaBeouf just had to go and be scumbag, and
Yeah, he kind of
well,
ruined a lot of its hype.
And I
Um,
genuinely think that if he wasn't caught up in scandal, he might have had a chance as well because he's such an interesting character, such a
mhm.
bad person in the movie that I could see him kind of filling the Jared Leto spot because they're actually kind of similar artists as well.
Yeah, yeah. And he had such a great year last year, and lots of people wanted him nominated
Mm-hmm.
last year. They could have done it this year, but he is going to disappear into the shadows for a little while.
Yeah.
So any last comments on the Golden Globes? Like, what do you think you think Jodie Foster was the biggest surprise, right?
Mm. Yeah, but I was really happy with it.
Hmm.
Like, really, I was. I wanted it to be Glenn Close, but, you know, my favorite performance in the category was Glenn Close and Jodie Foster. They were
Hmm.
both like 10 out of 10 performances, in my opinion. So you need to watch The Mauritanian. Everyone do
I
that.
will.
And then you're going to understand why Jodie Foster won. She's really good in the movie, and the movie's really important as well because there continue to be people in Guantanamo Bay, continue to be whistleblowers under um, indictment and place and stuff like that. So it's an important movie, and I would love to see her get the Oscar nomination. But I think it's just a case of that category being the most insane.
That is, I think, out of all the acting categories, easily the most insane. Like,
Hmm.
there's in other categories, there's at least like three locks, but here, there's like maybe two locks. It's crazy.
Even if like maybe no, I don't think the Oscars will hate Hillbilly Elegy because they shortlisted it for makeup. It's gonna get makeup.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna get nominated, and so will Olivia Colman. But
Mhm.
after that, I think it's like open season on anyone.
Yeah, it is. It indeed is. Hopefully they make the right choices there. So yeah,
Hmm.
any other final thoughts or predictions? We'll probably have one more predictions video before the nominations on March 15th.
Hmm. I don't really have anything else to say except
Mhm.
watch The Mauritanian, watch I Care a Lot, and start predicting Rosamund Pike and be smart.
Yeah, you could go with that. I mean, Ben hasn't missed with her yet. I think she will miss at the Oscars, but that fifth spot I think is
Mm-hmm.
still a little open. I still think it's Andre Day, but okay, so that is our discussion and thoughts on all of the stuff that happened last night. Lots of stuff at the Golden Globes and how it changes the whole Oscar race. If you want more award season coverage, please. Also, if you want to see a live reaction to the Golden Globe winners, please head over to the Council Podcast YouTube page where Ben and I both live reacted to the ceremony, where there were lots of surprises, lots of fun kind of reactions to be had. So please go check that out. And if you want more award season
Mm-hmm.
coverage and predictions and all of that, please like the video, comment your predictions down below, and subscribe. Yeah, so thank you guys so much and see ya.